We begin our show today with the war in Ukraine and what President Zelensky is calling a crucial week in the conflict. Russian forces are now focusing their efforts on the eastern part of the country, which came under heavy shelling over the weekend. These new satellite images by U.S. company Maxar are said to show a long Russian military convoy heading toward the eastern Donbas region. That anticipated offensive comes as Russian President Vladimir Putin announced a shakeup at the top of his military command. He's appointing a new general to oversee the war effort. Putin is also expected to host Austria's chancellor today. It's the first in-person meeting with a European leader since the war began. Comes after those alleged war crimes were discovered in Bucha. Speaking on Meet the Press yesterday, Ukraine's foreign minister underscored the importance of this upcoming fight for the East.
It's true to say that Ukraine won the battle for Kiev. Now another battle is coming, the battle for Donbas. And of course, we are preparing to it, working with our partners to get all necessary weapons. Whatever Russia is planning to do, we have our strategy, and this strategy is based on the assumption that, on the confidence that we will win this war and we will liberate our territories.
NBC News global correspondent Raf Sanchez joins us now from Lviv in western Ukraine. So, Raf, President Zelensky said this could be an important week for the war, with the battle in the eastern part of Ukraine taking center stage. Over the weekend, we saw the Donbas region come under heavy shelling. So what's the latest coming out of that area, and how prepared is Ukraine for that part of the Russian offensive?
Yeah, Joe, the Russian and Ukrainian governments don't agree on much, but they agree on this. The decisive next phase of the conflict will be in the Donbas region. And all weekend, we have been seeing more and more signs of Russian forces bearing down there. The city of Kharkiv already under assault. And as you said, there are now new satellite images showing an 8-mile-long column of Russian tanks and artillery to the east of the city. In the south, Russian forces continue to besiege Mariupol. President Zelensky saying this morning there could be tens of thousands of civilians dead inside that city. Now, Ukraine is sending some of its best forces for this new fight in the east, and they are certainly confident after weeks of victories on the battlefield. But the Ukrainian foreign minister also saying that this will be a very different kind of battle. This will be the sort of pitched conflict that we saw during the Second World War, large groups of tanks and artillery confronting each other on the battlefield. It will be less like the guerrilla warfare we've seen in the suburbs around Kyiv, and Russia will be fighting much closer to its own borders. Its supply lines will be shorter, and there will be fewer opportunities for nimble Ukrainian forces to inflict blows. Joe?
Raf, let's talk about what's happening on the diplomatic front. Austria's chancellor is meeting with President Putin today in Moscow. That's a couple days after he met with President Zelensky in Kyiv. Are we expecting him to play a mediating role in this conflict?
Yeah, that may very well be what's going on here. Karl Nehammer was in Kyiv on Saturday. He met President Zelensky face-to-face. His meeting did not get the kind of attention that Boris Johnson's did. He's not a showman like the British Prime Minister. But it has taken on a new significance this morning as he heads to Moscow for the first face-to-face meeting with the Russian president of any European leader since the war started. Joe, what's interesting about Austria, it is a member of the European Union. It is part of these EU sanctions on Russia, but it is not a member of NATO. It is seen as militarily neutral, and that may allow the Austrian chancellor to play a mediating role. Now, he is keen to stress he is not morally neutral. He has promised that he is going to raise these alleged massacres in Bucha to the face of the Russian president, and he says there needs to be an international investigation and then accountability. Jeff?
Yeah, and Raf, I mean, first and foremost, this war is taking a human toll, but it is also taking an economic one. Yesterday, we had a pretty grim prediction from the World Bank about the hit Ukraine's economy is going to take this year. Real quickly, can you walk us through what they're saying about that?
Yeah, the World Bank saying Ukraine's economy basically going to be cut in half, shrinking by 45%, according to its predictions. They also say Russia likely to slide into recession as it's caught in the vice of those crippling Western sanctions. Those two countries make up a third of global wheat exports. And so this conflict having far-reaching economic ramifications as food prices all over the world, especially in the Middle East, surging because of that disruption to wheat supply. Jeff?
We're going to talk more about food prices a little later this hour. Raf, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.